As the lights are there, there's 3, that's 4, that's all 5 of them. It's lights out, and they are on their way here in Bahrain. Looked like a great start from Gibbo. Footy a little bit slow to react at the start. Looks like a little bit of carnage up in the background. Wait and see where the breaking point is. In towards turn 1. Looks pretty clear at the moment. The Mercedes and the Aston Martin themselves out, but that's where the kerfuffle is at the back. And it looks like the Aston Martin of Cornish is just about eking ahead. We've got probably an overtake at the back with the Williams in towards turn number 4. Wait and see what goes on at the back. No damage on the wing of Cornish, so we'll stick with that one at the moment. The flag we've gone off at the back. It's absolute carnage at the back. The McLaren's gone. The Alpine's gone. The Mercedes is gone. Hip is at the back. We have the Haas and the Alfa Romeo Strange Craig all cutting the corners. And Cornish is actually down 10 places from that collision.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of carnage. We called it turn 1. Oh, we got a little bit of information on what actually happened at the start there, so that's fine. Yeah, no, that was hectic. I think Mantis was the big loser there, losing 9 places.
Yeah, he's battling at the moment with Mikey in towards turn number 9 or turn number 10, sorry, in towards 11. Let me try that again. As a 3-second time penalty for Gio, already for exceeding track limits many times. As we skip through, Rosa now on the heels of Cody on the medium tires, so Cody needs to make the most of the soft tires. Makes a move around the outside in towards turn 13. A little bit of wheel budging, and that is Cody gone. And I don't think Rosa had much to do with that one. He was side by side, and I think that was Cody trying to squeeze the driver off the track, and it just didn't work. But Cornish has caught up. Is going to be later on the brakes in towards turn 1. No, he doesn't. Rosa looks like his downforce settings a lot lower with the sparks coming out of the back of that car. But definitely a bit of an interesting one there between Cody trying to force Rosa off the track, and Rosa just did not budge. And it was front wheel to rear wheel, and that is what happens when that happens. We've got an off at the back of, I think that's Mitch at the back there of turn number 3. Probably a little bit of contact.
Yeah, he had
a
bit of a collision there with August. It's kind of hard to tell, but it just looked like Mitch cut across and hit the side of August's car, who is struggling now with Mike to get past Mike.
Maybe, but Dave then just going around the outside of AJ, so maybe a tactical position change going around. We've got a Red Bull of cutters off the track in sector 2. We do have an off at the back. That looks like Stranger Craig again, I'm guessing. Yes, it is. You don't even need to see on the camera what's going on, but maybe a tactical decision made there from the AlphaTauri pair of Dave and AJ coming around about turn 8 it was. So we'll have to wait and see. So what the AJ can do is start backing up Cutters and Tom at the back. We do have an off. Looks like Mikey is off around about turn 12, and he has lost his wing as well. So that's going to be him coming into the pit straight away. But as we round lap 3, the DRS is now re-enabled as Dave and AJ are fighting. But they need to remember they are still teammates. But currently, Gibbo is taking the lead with Footy and Coxie, and then Rosa. No change up at the front. Cornish is up in 5th. And it looks like Dave is making the move on the inside of AJ. Doesn't make it happen. So these two need to start behaving themselves. Last thing they want to do is take each other out. As we look a bit further back, we've got some moves coming around in towards turn 3. And I'll get back to the standings in about a moment. As Cornish now is looking to defend against Cody. A little bit of wheel banging going on there. Up the inside of turn 4. And that's a hit from the back. Cody looks like he hit the back end of Rob. As Rob is now gone in towards turn number 5, side by side with Cornish. So a lot of drivers making a lot of collisions happen on this track as it looks like Tom goes wide in turn 8, and that lets Mantis slip through the middle. Later on the brakes in towards turn 10. Why are you changing my camera angle? Codemasters cut the corner. Is what Tom decided to do on turn 10, but doesn't pick up a warning for it, so may have just stayed within track limits. Yellow flag in sector 1. That's probably for Mikey, but a nice little scrap going up in towards turn number 10. Keeps it clean side by side with August up towards turn number 12. Is he going to give him the squeeze? No, he lifts off just in case for that one, but he will be able to get the benefit of the double toe from Cutters and August going down, but August does have the double toe from Cornish up in the front.
Yeah, that's not a place where you want to overtake at turn 12. It's difficult enough with the lack of grip than trying to take an overtake. Yeah, a lot of hitting sideboards on these cars. Thankfully, the damage isn't on simulation, or else we'd have more drivers in the pit. I'm really impressed with AJ though, moving up into 7th place. 13 places made up in the opening 4 laps.
That is an effort, and by the looks of it, he's holding his own against Gio. So that AlphaTauri definitely showing its pace from that unfortunate event in qualifying. As we've got a little bit of a move up at the front, the Alpine of August going around the inside. The cutters who went wide up at turn 4. So AJ is slowly closing the gap on Gio. So we'll definitely try and keep an eye out for that. But he does have Jack just behind him. Picks up nicely into turn 10. But this is lap 4 now. Doesn't get the traction on the exit of turn 10. But this is lap 4. And now the soft tyres are going to start feeling horrible.
Yeah, we've
so the medium runners. The medium runners are now... Someone. We do have an off up ahead.
That is Raza at turn 12.
He's gone. That is a full wing change, and he was doing so well. So maybe I missed it slightly. Got a little bit too close behind Coxey. We do have an off at turn 4 as well. That's Hip, I believe it is, at the back, because Mikey has taken over, has overtaken him. But Gio, sorry, where is it? Coxey now will jump up with the battle up for 2nd place. So maybe Rosa and Coxey had a little bit of a tussle going through, or the auto spin curve. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, Coxey move around the outside, does have the benefit, the DRS of Footy into turn 4 later on the brakes. Both of them were actually, for that matter, but does get a better traction out of turn number 4. So that's Coxey now up into P2 at the moment. But if Footy stays within that 1 second gap, the DRS window, as Rosa has retired in the pit lane. So that car damage just too severe, and that would put him right back at the grid from that one, which I'm surprised. I would have thought he may have come in for the hard tyres and ran it till the end, but Rosa knows more than what we do.
Yeah. Just on board here with Mantis trying to close the gap down on Dave. He's going to get DRS now on, what straight is this, between turn 10 and 11. It should be pretty straightforward for Mantis, which it is. DRS really strong around here, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry, Footy's gone off at turn 12. Footy's just gone off at turn 12. Cornish has taken back P3, and looking a little bit further back, AJ is hot on the heels of Gio. So Footy losing at turn 12. Luckily didn't lose too much time, so probably managed to save the drift, as it looks like Gio hard on the defense going through up towards turn number 14. Now turn 15. AJ will have the DRS. The drag reduction system, there's the letterbox that opens. You can just see how much he is pulling away. He did get a better exit, but look at the gap that's open at the moment. Gio tucks in to the slipstream. AJ braking late. Gio making a move up the inside, but he's not going to make it all, because the outside is where you want to be, in towards turn 1, which means you get the inside of turn 2. But will he have... There's the DRS up into turn 3. So he's risk versus reward. Gio looking to make the move around the outside. Later on the brakes. The soft tyres are old, and they are hampering him a little bit. Side by side. Squeezes AJ off track. But AJ just about holds it up around turn 4. Now into the wibbly wobbly chicanes of 5, 6 and 7. And AJ sticks it ahead for the time being.
Yeah, that was a good battle there for 5th place. Nicely driven by AJ. And... yeah, I guess Gio's tires are just going now. 5 laps on the softs.
They are. There's a lot of moves.
DRS here again. And we might see another overtake. No, I think he's too far ahead.
He looks a little bit too bad. But no, he's making it. Oh, he looked at making a move up the inside. AJ held his line, because obviously the rules of Formula 1, once you commit to your braking, you cannot change direction under braking.
Yeah.
For words to that effect. You know what I mean.
Yeah. No, August now putting Dave under a bit of pressure behind.
He is 0.3 of a second. That gap is at the moment. So up front, Gibbo is now leading Coxey by 3.7 seconds. That gap seems to be opening up more and more. But Gibbo is on, I believe he's on the soft tyres? Oh.
Yeah, Gibbo's on the soft. So I reckon he'll be coming in another lap or 2.
Yeah, I think Gibbo will extend.
One stop.
Maybe, as we had to move up the front with an Alpha Tauri round in turn 1, I believe that was. Nope, but the pit stops have begun. Mercedes is into the pits. One of the Red Bulls of Tom is also in the pits. Side by side now, the Alpine and the Alpha Tauri of Dave and August. August does get the benefit of the DRS. The switchback maneuver. Doesn't make it stick up in towards turn number 4, but they keep the traction down, so he's not spinning. He's not facing the wrong way. But Dave looked to make that late move up the inside of turn 4, but doesn't happen. Side by side again. Looked like that was an interesting move there, but Gio trying to get the push onto turn number 8. Now 8, 9, 10. Losing numbers, too many numbers. But definitely losing out from there. So made a move up the inside, didn't make it happen, and then that's that gap opening. So them soft tires are going to be hurting if he stays behind AJ for too much longer. But like you said, expect them to come into the pits at some point soon.
Yeah, I suspect we'll get an influx of all the drivers coming in shortly. Just on board now with Mitch down in 10th. Teammate Cody just ahead of him. Cody is on the soft, so he might be holding Mitch up.
It sounded like it because we're not just jumped on board with Mitch coming up to turn 11, and it sounded like Mitch had to lift just before the breaker point, or as the breaker point was coming in.
Yeah.
As we jumped a little bit further.
I don't know if they're in comms with each other, but maybe just swap.
I would hope so. And that's a Neo defending hard against Cousin Cornish. In down towards 10-14, a little bit of nudging going along, so maybe a very late defensive move from Neo. I didn't quite catch all of that one. It's got red flag, yellow flag. Never say the red flag. Yellow flag in sector 2. I believe that might have been Mikey going off there, but a little bit of fighting going on. Fighting on the pit lane exit. That was a brave lunge. He did not see Gio coming out of the pit lane, and that's going to hamper him up into turn 3. That was dangerous.
That could have went anywhere.
That was almost a Maldonado situation all over again.
Yeah. Thankfully, no one got caught up on that so far. Anyway, yeah. No, that was scary. That was really late. I don't know if that was late braking or just I've no idea what to do. I think that was straight. I think that might have been a slight late braking maneuver going on there. But Neo seems to be suffering a little bit. Larger barge going on at the back there between the Williams and the Alpine of Jack. And AJ's gone. AJ has retired from the session. That is a safety car, I believe. Or that's a virtual safety. That's going to be a safety car. Or at least a VSC. Sure. AJ off at turn 12. That's the same corner where you hit in qualifying.
That is. You'll just see him now on the right-hand side in the wall.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate for AJ, who's doing so well, gained over 14 places on this race, and that is devastating. That was cake or death curb.
Yeah, I think it was Michael Schumacher that said first you have to finish. So
yes, he did.
It doesn't matter how good you're doing in the race, if you don't finish, you're getting nothing.
No, not at all. Tom now against Cody. Gets a little squeeze off the track, still side by side towards the start finish. Who gets the benefit of the DRS? We'll have to wait and see. Apparently none of them. None of them have got DRS.
Is that because of the yellow flag being out?
No, DRS only disabled. Oh, big cut there on turn 2. No, the DRS is only disabled for 2 laps after the safety car. After the safety car is deployed, virtual safety car is activated straight away.
Yeah. Has he got it there now? I'm not sure.
He did get it after turn 3, so his rear wing is still working because you still can get DRS failures in the game. And trust me, I've had them happen to me before, and it's not fun because you just drain your battery, which is not ideal. I just saw that at the moment with Rob side by side with Neo Nitro. They hold the traction on the exit, but Nitro does not have the benefit of the DRS. But looking a bit further back is Jack, currently with the double toe, and he's just going to sit behind, struggling a little bit with the understeer on that car. By the looks of it, he's having to lift to try not to collide with Rob. He's only going half throttle. You can hear it in the car. Holds it, dives up the inside. Rob gets a little bit out of shape down towards turn 13, and up the inside Jack goes. And can he hold it and close that 1 second gap for the DRS detection to Nitro? He's definitely in there. There's a detection zone just for turn number 13 or turn 14. And here comes the double DRS. So Jack now, can he close in to Neo? You can see the tenths going down, the thousandths going down. Doesn't elect to make the move up the inside. So Nitro just about another day, goes very deep into the breaking point. And this is hampered him, and Rob's gone behind him.
Oh, he's gone.
And that's Rob
Bye,
around, and that is a breath of fresh air for Jack. And don't forget that these two are fighting for that last point on the grid. So we'll have to definitely keep an eye out for that. As it looks like Mitch, Footy has gone round Mitch, so maybe a gentleman's agreement suits you, sir. But Footy has stopped, so he is on the fresher medium tyres, and some of these drivers have not pitted yet. So we expect the medium runners to come in within, I'd say, the next 2 laps at least.
I'm just looking at the tyres now. Gibbo has came in for fresh softs, so he's going for a 2-stopper.
It's a bold shout. Coxey's still out on them mediums, so Coxey definitely aiming for that 1-stop.
Yeah.
But is Coxey going to do a medium soft, or is he going to go medium hard? Oh, Rob goes very wide up at the top there. Oh, wasn't Rob, that was Neo.
It depends if he comes in soon, because if he comes in another lap or 2, he'll have to go on the hard.
So there's a bit of a squeeze going on there between Neo and Jack. He almost squeezed him off the track on the straights between on the straight just for the start finish. But the roles have reversed, and Neo does get the benefit of the DRS, so we'll pull away and survive another lap against Jack. And Jack is pushing hard on them fresher medium tires. 4 laps old to Neo's 10, as Neo gets very squirrely out of turn 1 up through 2. Squirrely again, he's struggling to find the traction now. Them rear tires are definitely close to the cliff. It looks like Jack is trying to make the move on the outside of the track. You can't do that one, you need to stay on the asphalt.
Yeah,
and is now stuck behind him.
I don't know how much grip would be out there. Do they still glue the sand down on this track?
Don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
I think it's just aesthetics. Oh, but does get a big launch of power and uses his overtake as well to get around him. Dives in front in towards turn 10. What's Neo going to do? You can tell Neo's tires are going. He just cannot get the braking right on that car. But that is Jack ahead of him. Neo is tucked in behind, but does have the DRS. But when are they going to come in? We'll have to wait and see. Gibbo is up in third at the moment on them 3-lap old soft tires with a hefty 8-second gap to close to the car in front, as Neo now gets a 3-second penalty for his troubles down at the back.
Yeah, just pushing a little bit too much. Gibbo not really making up too much ground on these soft tires, so I think he's on the wrong strat here. He probably should have went on to the hards when he came in. Well, try to push to the end.
Well, if he can hold the gap to Coxey and Cornish, he's only 8 seconds behind. Theoretically, when they come into the pit, he can pit the same time as them and still come out, say, 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Basically where he is now, and he would still be on the lead lap in the same place, but on fresher tires and the same tires as everyone else. Because he's used the soft tire twice, he now has to use an alternate compound of tire, whether that be the medium or hard. Because FIA regulations, you must use an alternate compound during the race unless you start on the wet or the intermediate tires. So he has to now use a medium or soft tire, hard tire. He's got no choice. Does he pick up the DRS for Mikey? No, he doesn't. But look, here you go.
There's a big gap. What are we looking at here? Footy, half a second in behind Dave, trying to pick up pace. I suppose Dave's carrying the torch now for Alpha Tauri. Yes, Alpha Tauri. I always get confused with Alpha Romeo and Alpha Tauri.
Yeah, I do as well. And Aston Martin. There's too many A's. There's too many blues on the grid. And there's too many A's on the grid. I say we just end that.
Hopefully next season we get a bit more variance with liveries and cars.
Maybe. A big hit there from Neo, giving Cody the squeeze there on just before turn 14, and he is staying out. So Neo is staying out. 12-lap old medium tires, just like the soft runners, the medium runners at the top. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Who's going to be braver? They both actually had the DRS, cancelling themselves out, and that's a dive up the inside. Not happening for Neo. So that's very brave. Maybe picked up some damage along the way, but Cody is staying in front of him, but doesn't have the DRS. So they cancelled themselves out on the start finish, and then obviously the roles got reversed. They got the DRS from the lapping car at the back, which Gio is unfortunately disconnected from the game, which is now allowing Tom to close up. And yeah, it's just unfortunate for Gio over there. But Tom is now hot on the heels of Neo.
Gio had the electric went off in his house.
That might explain that
to online racing. It's like this is something you wouldn't get in like real life races. Like, oh, the electric went out.
Well, no, saying that one, it did happen to Checo in Bahrain. The power went off in his car on the formation lap.
That's true. That is true. But then, what was those Renault engines that were really dodgy all the time?
No, it only happened. It happened his first year into him, so they still had the Honda engine.
Oh, the Honda engines.
It was the Honda engine. No, it was only about 2 years ago. Or was it this year?
It could have been this year.
I think it was this year, actually. Because this is Checo's first season with Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was this year.
Yeah.
His power just turned off in his car. Oh well.
Hey,
Neo decides... Neo is finally into the pits. I heard the word chaos and I like it. The McLaren side by side don't want to take each other out. This is the last thing that they want for the McLaren team. A big cut there from Mitch. He may have to give that position back. I suppose I'll have to wait and see, but they are in the same team, so as far as they're concerned, they don't care as long as they both make it in the points at the end of the race. Are they going to keep it fair? Try not to hit each other, boys. Mitch and Cody now side by side, and Cody needs to start either getting a move on or not hold Mitch up to close up to Jack up at the front, because he is on the quicker tyre.
Yeah, so, those fresh stuffs.
So they need to start thinking about maybe swapping the cars.
Dave has come in and put on those hard tires, so that'll be him towards the end now.
It will be. As Cornish is now 6/10 behind Footy, and when I mentioned earlier about Gibbo having the option to come back into the pit again, he has closed 2.5 seconds onto Cornish, so he was about 8 seconds back. Now he's 5.5 seconds behind. He is pushing on them soft tires, so when the medium runners come in at the start, he's pretty much clear now. Up to P6. Oh, sorry, he'll come out. He'll come out P4.
Scared the life out of it. Sorry.
What did you do?
Who was on board? I was on board with Mantis, and Hip's car wasn't ghosted, and I thought he was like driving straight into the back of him. But because Mantis is getting lapped, his car ghosted, and it's like I thought that's going to be a massive smash, and it's not. It's never mind.
I actually did that in the campaign or a multiplayer lobby. I got out of the way of I think it was Bottas, so I pulled over to one side to allow him to overtake whilst I was doing qualifying, and then he decided it's that AI glitch where they sort of stay alongside you. Checo come flying past in his hot lap, took both of them out in turn 4. It was the funniest thing I've seen in Formula 1. on the game, not actual Formula 1.
Yeah.
But sorry. Anyway, going back to the racing, up front, Gibbo now close 1.4 seconds in a lap on them soft tires. So it's gonna be tasty towards the end. I think between them top 3, because August will box as well.
Mitch battling. Dave did really well to hold that. Sorry.
That was very clean, and Mitch goes a little bit squirrely on the exit. So they have inverted the cars. So the McLarens have inverted their cars. And you can just see the speed difference from that soft tire. Dave is struggling now. They are fresh hard tires, so getting the heat into them tires is at least maybe 2 to 3 laps, and then the grip starts coming in. You can just see how early Dave's having to brake, but that looks like a straightforward pass. DRS on the straight. There he is, tucks in behind the slipstream. Looks like Dave did actually get a better exit out of the last corner, but is he going to make the move up the inside? On board now, he is. So Mitch is on the outside, side by side. He will go wide, which means that he will still be on the inside for turn 2. That is a smart play, but a big cut from Mitch, and that is him off. That was a good move, but a bit of a silly final execution. And was that a little cheeky reset to track I saw?
No, I think that was just the game trying to catch up.
Naughty Mitch, naughty. Footy now making a move on to Cornish. Can he make it stick by turn 11? Goes up the inside. He's well ahead of him in the breaker point. Mantis looking for the switchback line, and it looks like he's actually got it in towards turn 12. That is well placed on that car. That was beautifully placed on that car. But this means, I think he's close. He is actually close enough to the lapped car in front of him. I believe that is Stranger Craig. So he will also get the DRS coming out onto the start finish. So this is going to cancel out very late on the brakes, but he almost forgot that he has that left hand pedal in the car and has now just dropped off, but he does still have the DRS. But looking at his steering wheel, his energy recovery system, his ERS battery is running low. 14% on that wheel.
Yeah, he's very, very low. Which didn't help there was Craig being the back marker, his teammate, and Footy's lost it.
Oh, that he has, and I skipped off board with him. That's turn 2.
Yeah, Mantis got DRS off Stranger Craig, so he was able to pull away, and then Footy loses it, so that battle's over for a while.
Yep, nothing going on there. Cody, big cut there on turn 2. There's a lot of corner cuts going on around turn 2. I mean, come on, boys. I know you want to try and use as much as you can, but the little love tap from the back, and Cody is around. Yeah, Cody is very, but holds it. He holds it very well, not to retire the car into the wall, and that's not what he wanted, because that's put himself back in a predicament with Mitch, and he has to work all that way, and it will not help the life of them tires either. Now, there we go. My predictions were correct. The top 3 have pitted. Gibbo is in, Coxie is in, Cornish is in, and now the soft tires come on for Coxie, Cornish. August is coming round at some point, and Gibbo has gone onto the medium, so Coxie's on the hard tires. I don't think he believes that them softs can go all the way to the end. So this is going to spice things up, because the hard tire is the slowest of the compound tires, at least a second and a half slower, I believe, than the soft tires, and about half a second to a second slower than the mediums.
August just letting Cornish through there.
He won't fight him.
Yeah,
I don't. There was absolutely no point. 17 lap old medium tires. Lots of lockups going up into turn 8. The inside front under rotating. Inside front right, should I say. But now Gibbo is sneaking up behind August. And what is August going to do? Is he going to let him go? Or is he going to fight? A little bit further back there. Dive bomb going on from Mitch on Cody. These really don't want to fight too much, because look who's sneaking up behind him. They have got Tom in that Red Bull. He's sneaking up as these two fight, these teammates. They need to start working together, I think, and try and open up that gap just a little bit more. Gibbo looking to make the move on to August. Is August going to defend? No, he isn't. Little love tap, a little bit of contact there on that rear tyre of and on the rear tyre of August.
Gibbo was slowing to get the DRS.
Maybe a bit of a smart play there. I have seen him do this before. And there's the move. Now he has to close up. Oh, it looks like August was trying to come back at him. August, 18 lap old medium tires, definitely making it one stop. He is going medium softs for sure. I reckon August will be coming in this lap. Maybe not thinking that his gap is safe to Dave, but he will still come out in P5. So August will definitely dive in for the softs and run it to the end. Now, up ahead though, Cornish is closing the gap on Coxie, who is on the hard tyres. So he's looking at doing 12 laps only on the hard tyres, which are lighter lighter fuel load in the car, which means there's less tyre dead going on. So has Coxie just made the wrong choice by putting on the hardest tyre with the lightest car, because the softs are going to go longer?
I think Cornish is right on the edge there, 10 laps on the softs, so if he can build up a little bit of a gap over the next 5 laps, if he gets past Coxie, I think we could be looking at Cornish winning this opening race.
Quite possibly. I'm looking in the chat quickly. Coxie had soft selected, but game thought otherwise.
Oh,
maybe a late maybe a late tire choice. I don't know, because I have seen it done before. You pick crew ain't ready or all this good stuff, but unfortunately, he's out on the hard tires. Now, just behind him though, the DRS is open on Cornish. He is closing that gap. 0.7 of a second is what he's done. Gibbo I believe is dropping off slightly, but he didn't have the benefit of the DRS. August, I called it. He's in the pits. Is he going to put the softs on? Yes, he is. Is it a clean pit stop? Them mediums were knackered. You just saw the amount of graining on that tire. That would not have been pretty for me to drive on. Never mind him.
No, he did very well there. Where does he come out? He stays in 5th, so it's not too bad.
Is looking up ahead though, Ninja. Look at this. Cornish very late on the brakes. Could that have been a brake check? I don't want to be devil's advocate, but them hard tires do not have the best grip in the world. So Coxie is having to brake a lot earlier, and I know this pain, but Cornish is still sticking with him, and he will get the move made more than likely up into the start finish. No, he tried making a move up the inside. Up the inside of 13. We'll have to wait and see. But the battery on Cornish's car is he's at 40% battery, and Coxie is using every ounce of what he can, 20%, and he just recharged that on the final corner. Coxie looking to go defensive. That's his deployment for the lap. He's below 10%. The flashing light at the back of the car is going to make the move. Cornish around the outside into turn 1, gets a little squeeze on the grass. Coxie goes very, very late on the brakes, but Cornish is now on the inside turn 2. Doesn't make a stick. They're very clean. Goes a little bit of a corner cut, but now it's the switchback again. And Coxie does hold the DRS. And what they're going to do all the way through here, it looks like Cornish is going to have to stick behind him all the way up until turn number 10. So is Coxie now going to try and back him up into Gibbo, as Gibbo now just needs to close the gap on Cornish, because penalties still can be applied at this time in the race.
Yeah, they're very, very close. I don't know, there seemed a little bit of squeezing going on there into the first corner. DRS though is very strong, and I think Cornish should get this made.
It looks close enough, but it could be a little bit too late. He's not quite close enough. Looks like Coxie's picking a braking point a lot earlier in towards turn 10. Just to make it round with them tires, but Cornish is going to have to get a shift on, because them tires are pretty much one lap away from getting into their optimal heat window, and Coxie does have a lapped car in front of Gio, who's unfortunately disconnected. You can just see how late Cornish is braking, but the DRS is going to get neutralized. There's the wings popping up onto the start finish. Does Cornish have enough? I pressed the wrong button. Does Cornish have enough to get alongside him? He's looking at it. You can just see Coxie's draining his battery just to stay in front with only 7 laps to go in this race. The DRS now, there it is. The wing goes open. You can just see the O-speed. Coxie defends up the inside. A little bit of argy-bargy in the wheels. And that is the move made for Cornish. He makes it stick up in towards turn 4, and that gap is going to have to open more and more. So Cornish is definitely going to have to push them soft tyres to make sure that Coxie, so if he has any grip left at the end of this race. 7 laps is a long way to go on these soft tyres, but the cars are lighter, so we'll have to wait and see what goes on towards the end. Half a second, and what is Coxie going to do? Is he going to sit back, recharge the battery, and then do a last-minute lunge? But that was a great getaway from Cornish up at the front, and we may see them positions stay exactly where they are. Mitch into the pits on to a set of the medium tyres, so maybe something going on at the back that we may have missed. Neo Nitro is virtual safety car. Neo is gone. That's another turn 12 victim. Front wing is gone, and he was on the hard tyres.
I'll be back in 1 minute, Jack.
No a problem. So virtual safety car is out, which means that the drivers now have to drive at I believe it's 40% less speed, or it's 40% race pace. And they have to keep their delta positive, otherwise they could incur the wrath of the dreaded drive-through penalty on this safety car coming in this lap. Saying that one, a virtual safety car, and that is Dave with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So he did not drop his delta enough, because it gives you a good 12 seconds notice to drop your delta, as you heard Bono scream down Lewis's radio, and that looks like another drive-through penalty for Dave. So is that
2 penalties picked up?
I believe that's 2 penalties for Dave, and he is slowing down, and
Oh, he's disqualified.
Dave is now disqualified from the session for having too many penalties. And that's a bit of an odd one because Dave was doing well. He was sitting up in fifth. As we go a little bit further back, you could just see Footy. You can't overtake under the safety car either, so Footy's having to stay patiently behind Craig. As the safety car is back in, the DRS is enabled, and out of nowhere, Cornish is down into third place. Gibbo is snuck up into second, and Coxey is in the lead of the race.
Yeah, did Cornish pit onto the virtual safety car?
I think he did. Yes, Cornish is on the fresh set of soft tyres.
That's a bit of a strange decision because surely track position would be more important going into the last 6 laps.
That is very much an odd one. I don't know. He looks like he may have just thrown this race win away, but he was on 6-lap-old softs and probably the VSC.
Another Haas off.
We do have another Haas off. That looks like Neo Nitro up at the. Is that Neo Nitro again? No, it's not.
Yeah, it was.
It was Neo Nitro, yes. But he's still intact.
He's the only Haas left in, so
yes, he is.
Was out earlier.
Yeah, but Cornish. I mean, virtual safety car is a free pit stop. It is a free pit stop. So obviously, when you get into the pit lane, you can go flat out. But did he know something that we didn't? Did he know that his tires weren't going to make it to the end by looking on the MFD with his tire wear? It's
possible that he pushed too much trying to overtake.
Well, I suppose we'll have to wait and see. He now has 5 laps. No, quick math. 5 laps, yes, to catch up to Gibbo, make the overtake, and then try and get Coxey up at the front. And this is going to be a bit of a tall order because Gibbo is 9 seconds up the road and pushing on their medium tires to try and catch up to Coxey. Coxey's got a lot of breathing space up at the front, and I'm just surprised why Cornish came in on that lap. It's very confusing, but this is some of the fights that we are going to want to keep an eye out, mainly on the Delta. So we'll have a look, see if we can find another bit of a fight going on at the back.
Well, we've got Craig tried to chase down Hip at the very back for 16th place.
It is points being prizes. We'll stay on board with Craig. We love a bit of Stranger Craig. His tactic, and he said coming into this, was just not to use the brake, and so far, it's working.
Yeah,
it's working. And only 6 seconds of penalties, which isn't too bad.
No, it's towards the end of the last season, Craig did actually do quite well. You know, he definitely improved. So hopefully another season or two, and we'll get out Craig.
Absolutely.
Grab his first win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think by the time we come to the end of the race, I think he spent only 4 laps backwards instead of his original 10.
Yeah,
which is an improvement. We love you, Craig. I know you're listening. So yeah, and he's done 2 stops at the moment, and it looks like Hip is only just eking that gap ahead. Well, just quick look at it. Penalties at Ninja. Mitch, 3 seconds time penalties, is now clear of Tom. Cody is 6 seconds, but is definitely clear of Cutters, who is 28 seconds behind in P11. Rob is, and basically you've got that middle pack that everyone's going to be changing around.
Yeah.
Simple.
So I'm actually quite happy for Sibby to be sitting in 11th place there. I think he'll be happy with that because he did think that he was just going to be, stone dead last. So just to be outside the points in the first race, I think he'll be happy with that.
That is, I think he was actually quite unfortunate at one point. Let me have a look. No, tire penalties, stops, position change. There he is, and he has only dropped 1 place as well. So he did obviously start in 10th, and has only lost 1 place in that race, which is not too shabby, if I must say so myself.
And another driver that's impressed is WS Jack as well, sitting nice in 7th, but he is getting chased down by Mitch on those fresh mediums. Will he fight him, or just maybe let him pass and then stick him behind him, because Mitch does have a penalty?
Yeah, Mitch has got, I believe it's a 3-second time penalty for Mitch, and I don't think Jack's going to give up too much of a fight. Then lunge, it looks to make the move. Mitch on the back of that Alpine, but it does pick up the DRS, so probably elect in. Just give it a second. But you can just see that flash on the back of the Alpine. That means his battery's either depleted or below 10% depleted, or he's used his maximum energy allowance for that lap. But Mitch is now through, and it was a fairly clean overtake. DRS in towards turn number 1. 2 laps left to go here in Bahrain for the first race of the Simcade League season, however you want to say it, for 2022. I don't know. Is it? What? I can't remember what it was. The F1 2021-2022 Simcade Season Championship.
Yes.
There we go. If someone wants to clip that, that's great, because I'll put it. I'll just put it on loop, so I don't have to keep saying it. Try saying that after you've had a few bevies. Right. Yeah. But yes, 2 laps left to go. Coxie still in the lead, probably getting away with it from a strange pit stop, and I do agree, Jav, in the chat. It was a bit of an unusual pit stop. As you can see, Footy is 7 lap holds, soft tyres. August is on 6 lap holds, soft tyres. So Coxie may have just been given a bye on this race. So Cornish definitely a threat to look out for. Gibbo 4.8 seconds behind as Hip gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits to add to his tally. But Gibbo 4.7 seconds behind. Medium tyres, needs to make the most of them with the last closing laps. And Cornish, the odd pit stopper, but the free pit stop, so didn't suffer too much, I don't think, other than 2 places and a lot of points, is now 5.1 seconds behind Gibbo. And that gap is closing up slowly, but he is running out of battery. 5%, gets a little bit on the last corner, but I don't think that's going to be enough, or there is enough time to close the gap up at the front. August.
No, he was needing 2 seconds a lap, and I don't think he's been getting that.
No, it doesn't look like it. It's coming down slowly. He's getting about maybe a 2/10.
Oh, yellow flags though.
We do. Yellow flag up in towards outside the back somewhere. Did I just see cutters off the track? No, that's Stranger Craig. That's got Craig and Hip. Craig has got Hip.
Oh,
so maybe a little bit of an argy-bargy moment there, but
yeah,
Craig are now up into 16th place.
Gibbo get DRS off Craig now, so he'll be able to pull away.
Yeah, I think that may have been a little bit of a tactical move there from Gibbo. He does actually get the DRS. Clean through turn 11. And to close up, but Cornish behind, so Gibbo definitely lifted. Must have done. 3.6 seconds now. As where's he gone? Coxie is coming up to turn 14 and 15 to finish, and to finish lap 28 and begin the final lap of the Bahrain race. Boy, he is losing a position there to WS Jack, so maybe getting a bit squirrely on the exit of turn 2, which is a common place to slowly lose the car, and all you need to do is stay ahead of Tom for this one lap. But in the meantime, we'll go with Coxie as he comes through the DRS turn 2. He has got nothing left in that car, all the battery, as he only has well, I'll say only has, but he has 11 corners to go, because technically there is a kink in this track, which is turn 15, as everyone knows it. Well, it doesn't count it really.
It does count it. It's a bit of a strain. It's kind of like Austria, you know,
it's like, yeah, the
corner 3.
Turn 2, not turn 2.
Yeah.
Turn 3, turn 2, but turn 2, not turn 2.
Exactly.
That one. But yeah. So Coxie then, one stop, made it work on the medium hard tyres, but probably wanted to go for the medium soft, because he did extend quite a bit. Gibbo playing it right in their hands, the 2-stopper, making it work, and basically calling, I put the money down the table and said he's going to close the gap, and then he's going to pit at the same time. Cornish then also on the 2-stop, losing out for a strange pit stop after taking the lead under the virtual safety car. So we may have to wait and see what goes on with that one. As Footy is on 10 lap old medium soft tyres. But here we are. Coxey then comes across the line and takes the win. The first win of the Simcade season, with Gibbo picking up P2 and Cornish 1.8 seconds behind Gibbo. So that is Coxey in the Ferrari, Gibbo in the Williams on the podium, Cornish in the Aston Martin. August is quite a bit back from there, but he still has cousin Cornish in the Mercedes behind him. Anything can happen. A 3-second penalty and 2/10 is all that August needs, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So August picks up 4th place for the Alpine. The Mercedes of cousin Cornish in 5th place. Mitch is a long way back, 35 seconds for that matter. So I'm sure we'll definitely have to hear, well, we'll definitely hear from Cornish, cousin Cornish, to find out why he pitted towards the end of that VSC. So definitely I'm one to be curious. I don't know if we are doing interviews after this. My throat is hurting after all my unnecessary shouting. But
we'll give you peace. We'll get Alex in. Alex can do the interviews.
yeah, that's very true. But Mitch now in the McLaren crosses the line in 6th. WS Jack in the other Alpine crosses in 7th. Tom now waving around in 8th. Cody crosses the line and Footy on top of that one. So Footy does still get a point. And then we have the mixed match at the back, as we do have a crash at the back going on there, as the places are chopped and changed due to the amount of penalties going on. Whoa, well, that got interesting at the end.
That did indeed.
It did. Mitch picking up driver of the day in the McLaren, finishing P5, I believe it is. And there is your race winner in the Ferrari. Ariel Coxey may have got a lucky break out of this one. We'll have to wait and see and find out what Cornish has to say for that. So Coxey takes the win, full 25 points, and I believe also the fastest lap of the race. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see when we get to the end. Gibbo in P2. There we go. Cornish stealing the fastest lap at the end of that one. So Coxey picking up 25 points for his efforts. Gibbo in P2 picking up his 18 points. Cornish 15 points, I believe, plus the fastest lap, giving him a total of 16. Then we have August, Mantis, Mitch, WS Jack, Tom, Cody and Footy picking up the final point of this race. Then we have Cutters, Nitro, Rob, definitely got beaten by his son. We know that much. With Gio unfortunately disconnecting from that race. Mikey, Stranger Craig sneaking up there in 16th place with Hip, our final driver on the grid. And the unfortunates of AJ, Rosa and TRF